Hey guys, I'm Vic. In this video, I'm going to show you, because I can't find a video tutorial about this anywhere, I got my Vance and Hines Eliminator 300s on my 2021 Harley-Davidson Street Bob here. I'm going to take out the baffles on these brand new slip-on mufflers, and I'm going to take the wrapping off of it, and I'm going to show you the difference in sound from the mufflers, the stock mufflers. Well, not the stock mufflers anymore, but the Vance and Hines 300 Eliminators with the packing, and then I'm going to remove the packing, and then you'll hear how it sounds without it. It should be just a change in tone, shouldn't be too much louder, but should be a change in tone, and when you get on the gas, that's when you're going to hear the difference, where it may be a little bit louder. All right, so I'm going to show you how it's done, and then we're going to hear the difference. First, I'm going to fire her up right now so you can hear what it sounds like now. Let me remove my tools that I got here, and let's listen to see how it sounds. Now this is the idle sound. Now let's take out that baffles and see how it sounds without it. By the way, another thing I should explain to you. I'm going to wear gloves because the wrapping and the baffle, it's basically fiberglass that goes in there, and it dampens the sound bouncing off of the straight pipe basically on the inside. This is what changes the tone on it and baffles the sound, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to remove those baffles. However, that wrapping can always be put back in. So this is reversible, okay? Just so you know that. I'm not going to be destroying these. So you get a perspective to see what we're going to do. On the inside over here, there is a hex nut, and all you need is a simple hex key to loosen that. There's only one of them on this. Then we're going to slide that out. And I'm not sure yet at this point, but we may need to get a rubber mallet to tap it back in all the way. But let's take a look and see. So let me get in there, show you exactly what's getting done, try to give you a good perspective on this, and zoom in on that a little bit. All right, so you guys can see what it is I'm doing here. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Should have just grabbed the ratchet, probably make it a lot easier. Let's do one at a time here. I'll show you how it's done. Okay, not a bad idea to have an exhaust spring tool like this. Let me see if you can see it here. That's got a hook at the end like that. It's an exhaust spring tool. You can use it to just grab in here and maybe give you a little more leverage when pulling out. When pulling it out. Although the holes in there may be a little bit smaller in these baffles, the interior. Let me see if I could turn it and pull it all on its own. Or maybe I'll get a screwdriver and just tap it out a little bit right there. Hold on one sec. All right, before you start pounding on anything, I felt around. There is another screw down the bottom. So let's take that one out as well. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Okay. And hopefully she'll just slide right out after that. I could keep hoping, right? Can't really grab onto anything there. So what I'll do is try not to do any damage. The rubber mallet, just give it a little tap and a screwdriver, and you see it came right out a little bit. And now I pull it out. Okay. And see, this is just basically the exhaust itself. See right through it? Here's the exhaust pipe. And it has these, as you can see, the holes in it. And the exhaust bounces in there. So it's not a straight pipe sound that comes straight out. It's wrapped in some kind of material. And then, let me lay this on the ground. And then inside you can see this fiberglass material in there. We should just be able to pull that out. Either get a pair of pliers or something like this. Pull on that with fiberglass wrapping. I'm gonna get a pair of pliers. See if I can get a better grip on it and pull it out. Alright, so now I got a pair of pliers and I just work my way around a little bit here. And without damaging it, see if I get it out in one piece, and I did. That's the way that it looks like when it's new. They actually wrap it in the fiberglass. Let me zoom out on this. They actually wrap this in a little bit of plastic, and that plastic will burn off, but this is basically the fiberglass wrapping inside. Still fairly new, that's why it's all white, barely burned. This is the stuff that goes bad when you need to rewrap it, and you gotta be careful on the older ones. When you're ripping this part about, that fiberglass, you should wear a mask so you don't breathe in that dust. That could be pretty nasty. And I'm gonna put this off to the side. If I don't like the sound, I'll just put it back in. All right, so that's one part. And then all you do is line up your bolt holes. You got two of them. And we're gonna put that, just slide that right back in. Make sure that the end piece goes in the hole where it's supposed to go. I'm just doing it by feel. Excuse me. There we go, got it in. And once we line up these bolt holes a little bit, I didn't even need the mallet. And I'll just bolt them back in. Then I'm going to do the same thing to the other one, and then we'll hear how it sounds, okay? So I got the second one out. Took a little more pulling to get that one out. I guess the fiberglass was caught up in there a little bit when they installed it. And it's a good idea to twist it back and forth. The hard part is when you're lining them back up, you may want to, before you take these out, try to put a little mark, maybe with a piece of chalk or something on the exhaust, so that you know to line it back up so that bolt holes line up a lot easier. That was a little bit difficult for me to get them lined up at the beginning. So let's see on this one. I'm going to pull out that fiberglass now. Hopefully the fiberglass isn't all jammed in there too bad. Just a little jerking motion getting that out. I'll assume the other one's going to come out easy because the first one did. Whew. Sorry, I'm in your way there. Here, so you can see what I'm doing. Just try to work it out a little bit here without damaging it, because if I don't like the sound, there we go. You may want to reuse it. So I'm not going to crush this or lay anything on top of it. See, they just wrapped it in plastic, and that plastic gets melted away. It doesn't harm the exhaust any, but as you can see, it starts to expand when it's in there. So when you put it back in, you may want to wrap it in to put it back in easier again. All right, and that one's done now. Well, not quite. I'll show you the hard time I had with the other one. Got to line these holes back up because there's one down here and one over here on the side. You need to make sure, if you want to get that screw in fitting really good and easily, that, you get it. There we go. So you can see my difficulties when putting it back on. Hopefully we don't have any. That's a big hopefully. And gotta slide it back in. Make sure you don't bend this part at all. You want to fit right back in. That's the bolt up right to the exhaust. Right on the inside, so you gotta get a dead center. Oh. Oh. Famous last words. That went in pretty easy. Let's see if the bolts do now. It's not a bad idea to put a little that Loctite on there. But before I go putting any Loctite and see if I like the sound, I have to take it apart again. And I'm not going to decide right now, because I'll take it out for a ride, see how it sounds then. But I got somewhere to be soon, so I just figured I'd do this last minute. Only took a couple minutes to do from start to finish here. Took me more time probably to get the tools together, and a ratchet would be a lot easier than this. Sure, I'm not making my life easier. Let me screw it in as far as I can by finger, and then bolt that on, and then I'll start it up for you, and then I'll show you guys the side-by-side sound. Oh, that means I'll have to edit this video a little bit, but until that happens, I may post it for you anyway. That's why you want the ratchet instead. I'm just too lazy to go get it. Sure you all been there before. Alright. Alright, get it in there. Just crank it down just a little bit. You see the other bolt fell out. Barely had it in. So let's screw that in. Take off these freaking gloves, don't need them now. Okay, screw that in. Get in there. Get in there, baby. There we go. Make sure you don't cross thread them. She's going in good. Alright. Turn it up. Now let's hear how it sounds. I'm expecting it won't be louder, hoping. It's not going to be too much louder, just more different tone. So, what do I need for this? A rag to wipe my sweat. Ended up not needing this tool, but it could be useful for people who have the exhaust that's been sitting there for a while or been used a while. These are fairly new. The mallet to tap it back in or to tap it out, I ended up using it with a screwdriver, flathead, just on the edge over here to just help it out a little bit. Then a pair of pliers to work out these suckers. Okay, let's start her up and see how she sounds now. Whew. By the way, that's my 2021 Street Bob. In case anybody like to see the full view of that. Look at that baby. I added on the Bung King crash bars. I think they look pretty slick. Gotta have a toolbar there. Put in my Memphis Shades Rio Grande windshield. Can't even notice it's on there, and it does help a ton. Less fatigue when you're taking rides. This sucker, I ordered that from Germany. It's the tallest one I could find, 27.5 inches, and it was pretty cool because you could still see the reflector. It's got a cutout for the reflector in there. Thought that was pretty neat. Got the swing arm bag, which I got from Harley. Yes, I know, modern conveniences. I got my cup holder. Not for open cups, just for bottles. Otherwise, your drink will siphon out with the air as you ride. I got my cell phone holder on this side because Harley included a USB port right there. All right, and of course my Kuryakin grips, which are pretty comfy. And oh, don't forget my LED blinkers. Those suckers are pretty nice. I'll show you how they end up looking. Two shades. Gotta get this done before it rains. Okay. That's pretty cool how that blinker works. But let's take a look at the front. I know this isn't a tutorial about blinkers, but it's that when you shut the blinker off, it just goes to a headlight. Boom. So I thought that was pretty slick. So let's see what this sounds like now, shall we? Let me put it back in the same position where I was in before, so you can be the judge. All right, let's even get that in the same position. Try to anyway. And let's hear how that baby sounds without being behind it. Hopefully my neighbors don't get pissed. Alright, so that's the before and the after with the baffles and with the baffles removed. You decide how you like the sound. I think it was a little bit louder, but if you noticed, first time I started up, had a little bit of less back pressure. Less back pressure could cause some mild performance issues. In this case, it was starting up. Hopefully that wasn't it. So just to make sure, we're going to start it up again. Bit of hissing, but not too bad. Make sure you wipe these things down. You don't want to have them running with any grease or oil on them, because that will stain them up for sure. You know, you got to keep that chrome nice and clean. Let me know what you think, how it sounds. Couldn't find any tutorials on this, so I decided I was going to do it myself and create one. We'll see. If I don't like it, I'll just put them back in. If you want, I'll put a tutorial on how to put them back on. As you can see, you can just slide them right back on. Probably tighten them up with a little tape so that they're a little smoother sliding back into the hole. And then that's it.